Sukkah Berg Vov Halacha Gimel. Ha'ovel Chaya B'Sukkah. Somebody who's a mourner is Chaya B'Sukkah. Ovel, and one of his 7 relatives is obligated in the Sukkah. The Maggid Mishnah cites Sukkah 25b. Amarav. Ovel is Chaya B'Sukkah. Mok says Poshet, obviously. So the Gemara answers, since Rava said Mitzvah Potem and Sukkah, Ovel has tsar. He's in torment internally. I would think he's potter. Therefore, he tells us he's liable because he causes his own pain, and therefore he should overcome his position. He shouldn't have pain. We're only talking about a pain that's an outside factor, and therefore we have to understand why the Rambam writes oval, the beginning after mitzvah, because you might equate the two together. Rashi explains Sa'ad and Mela. What does it mean? A usual pain that the sukkah is causing him pain, like sun or cold or smell. This is things that have to do. It came from the schach, for example. If the schach became wet and spoiled, that's potter. However, an oval, the obligation is on him to understand it's a day of Yontif, mitzvah. He adds, even though the novel is obligated, when he has buried one of his 7 relatives on the festival, he has to do avilas of and therefore, in order to keep the mitzvah of sukkah, he has to sit there and relax and not be troubled. Adds that he has to accept the edict of HaKadosh Baruch Hu with love, with happiness, and furthermore, that the pain, the torment of his death, the death, will remain even if he goes into the house. As we said before, anything that will not change because if he goes into the house, he's obligated in the sukkah. And what they said that a sick person can go out, even though in the house it will remain, he'll be sick. So Menach says that he's not comfortable. He doesn't help alleviate some of his symptoms. The Ramah says, what does it mean he's troubled? He cites the Mordechai that if in his house he will have some relief. Otherwise, he has to stay in the sukkah even if he's troubled. The Shulchan Aruch says Oval is obligated in the sukkah. Mishnah Berurah cites Rashi that he has to cause himself to be relaxed to keep the mitzvah of sukkah. Chosin and all those and all those who attend to the chosin, and everyone who attends the chuppah, p'tur min sukkah called shivas yimei mishta. They are not obligated to be in a sukkah all 7 days. Now the Maggid Mishnah cites the sukkah. Amar Rav in 25a, Rav says chosin, all those who attendees, and also those attendants and all the attendees of the chuppah do not have to be in the sukkah all 7. The Gemara explains because he has to eat and drink with the chosin to make him happy in the chuppah room. Now the chuppah room wasn't just a one-time thing; it was a 7-day place where the chosin stayed there. And the Gemara questions, let him make the chuppah room like a sukkah, and they can do both. And the answer of answers because the chosin will not be comfortable. So he's the main person that you have to make happy. Maggid Mishnah cites Rashi. We don't have this, but the Azarua also mentions Rashi. That mitzvah means that all the people who were with him would not be able to get into a sukkah, whereas they can get into this house. And Rashi said Tsar Chosim, that it's small and has 3 doors, and he's embarrassed because any moment somebody might walk in on him and he cannot sit and relax with his collar. Shulchan Aruch paskins the chosin sheshvinen, the chosin, all of his accompanying people, and all the people who attended the chuppah, apotem sukkah all 7 days of the 7 days, which has to start before sukkah because you can't get married on sukkah. Mishnah Berurah cites in the Rosh that he's liable because he's of the opinion that you can be happy in the sukkah as well. And you learn this more in Sukkah Chofeyam and Beis 25b. Abzera married a woman before the festival, and on the festival you're not allowed to, as we just mentioned. In the 7 days, of festivity took place within the festival, and he ate in the sukkah like any other person, and they made some Mosdos and he was happy because he kept two things: Hilchos Choson and Mitzvahs Sukkah. The Rosh cites that the Aposkim, I would say the Halacha is like Rav Zera, that a Choson should be careful, and he brings in the Yerushalmi Rav Yitzchak Bar Morian was a Sheshvinin to a Choson. Eliezer told him that he should sleep in the sukkah. Muna was a Sheshvina of Yaakov. Ami and Rebbe said to him he should sleep in the sukkah. Rabbi Nasano points out, makes you aware that in Yerushalmi we're talking about attendance and not the chosen. And perhaps the chosen is poter because he's involved with making his wife happy. And he answers that the chosen is poter, the attendees are also poter. But if they won't be make him happy, he will be in pain. In Yerushalmi, we see that you're obligated. You see that the chosen is obligated. The Rosh concludes that the Riv cites the words of Rav Abba that a chosen and his attendants are not obligated in the sukkah, and it would seem we have to do like the Yerushalmi, and so says the Balai Tur. The Tur obligates the chosen and his attendants in the sukkah, even though the Rambam left it out. The Shulchan Aruch, in the beginning of in the foreword to Shulchan Aruch, explains that he codified the halachas according to three of the main pillars of the world: the Rambam, the Rif, and the Rosh. When two of them have one opinion and the other one disagrees, you go after the two. And since the Rambam and the Rif left out the Yerushalmi, he says halacha like them. But the Torah cites the words of his father, the Rosh, that you can eat in the sukkah and make the chosen happy. The Mishnah Berurah brings to the Lior Rabbo, the Chaim, that the chosen should not make a brocha leishiv basukah, because according to the Rambam, he's potter from sukkah. Manoach says that maybe there's no disagreement between the Yerushalmi and the Bavli. The Bavli, when it says he's not obligated in the sukkah, is meaning eating, and he doesn't have to eat and spend his time in the sukkah. But sukkah is only b'chuppah, but the attendants have to sleep there. Chosen doesn't have to because of his bride. Therefore, the Bali is talking about on eating, and the Yerushalmi is talking about sleeping. A time when the attendants do not have to be with the chosen to make him happy, and therefore they have to sleep in the sukkah. And furthermore, the chosen himself is potter from the sleeping in the sukkah. The halacha is the poskim say like the Torah, the chosen and sheshvinim should are obligated to eat in the sukkah because they can eat in the sukkah and make the chosen happy even in a sukkah. And he goes back to the chuppah to dance and do whatever else they want.